up all the technology. Sorry, I'm late, I know, but probably you are aware that we have Mercury retrograde. Probably I don't need to explain more what happens when Mercury goes backwards. Yeah, technologies. Anyway, I'm now streaming to a few different places by a few different technologies, so I'm trying to manage everything, and soon we are going to start this live stream. Let me see to check if everything is working, because during the Mercury we need to double, triple check, especially. Yes, I see myself okay on Facebook. Do you see? Okay, still nobody. Okay. Looks like everything is set up correctly. So, guys, so good to be live. Yeah, live. Such a good expression. So good to be live and alive and here with you in real time. And I decided to share everything that I was contemplating for the last 2 weeks about the biggest lessons of the relationships. And it's family, friends, romantic, business, any person that we relate to. By the way, Facebook people, probably you will see me looking more often up, not straight, because I'm looking to IG channel camera. So excuses for that. By the way, let me check the chat. I see one person is here. I'm just not quite sure how the chat in Facebook works. Let me see. Okay, maybe I will see, maybe I won't. So let's start the topic, the biggest lessons of the relationships. Well, guys, probably you also noticed that last full moon that happened 2 weeks ago was very so much about the topic of relationships. And for me personally, it opened my eyes up very widely to the fact of what the pattern I was operating from for all of my life, for all of my 35 years. And it was straight to my face, very clearly the message, what I need to change within myself in order to get different relational experiences. So I made a list of the biggest lessons, but I have a feeling that not yet all will be mentioned. So I will write an article and later when it's ready. But for now, let's start. Let's start, and first lesson, the biggest lesson in the relationships is open heart. Open heart. How much important it is to relate to people with my open heart. How does it look like? Because probably you heard people talking about it recently, not recently, lately a lot, right? Like open heart, but how does it look in the relationships? Vulnerability, expressing what we feel, what we think, what are expectations, maybe. Just allowing another person to see in us and ugly. So this first lesson, open heart, very important to relate to people our open heart. At least that's for me. Okay, I will direct this communication perspective of I. Hey, I see you, Alan. Alan, hi. The topic of today is biggest relationship. So first lesson is to relate to people from the open heart. Second lesson, feeling safe to be authentic. It's very important not only to give that sense of safety to others, to feel safe to express their true authenticity, but it's equally important to receive that safety from other people that we relate to, that we open our heart to. Because when a person feels safe to be themselves, who they are, how they are, they will show you who they are and how they are openly, vulnerably. So important is and to give that safety and to receive that safety. Third lesson. Well, I already kind of mentioned that. But I can say what I learned recently, actually in this full moon, last full moon, that not always I need to use not always I need another person in the relationship in order to use my voice in order to heal by using my voice. Let me give you the example. I had a really shitty situation with my friend 2 weeks ago. Okay, I went through all kind of feelings and I just knew that I need to speak it out. I need to put it out. of myself. So I knew that I'm going to speak with my friend. I thought I will. So first I started writing a letter. I wrote a letter in 2 days that took around 5 pages, detail to detail, how I felt, what happened, how I see, and what's up with all of that. And I read that letter in the process of writing, and I read it maybe 5 times. At the fifth time, I realized that there is no emotion anymore because I used my voice to speak, to express outwardly what was happening with me inwardly. And that's why another person was not needed in that process of me healing my emotions. So it is very important to use my voice, but it's not always the case. Then, Alan, I see your question. How to use your voice is what I told. Express how you feel, what you think, what your needs are, what your expectations are. Just let it out by your voice. So the sixth lesson is pay attention how you feel around certain people or around people in general. How do you feel? Did you notice that being around some people, you feel very free, very relaxed, very authentically yourself, very safe, very at ease, very just at ease. While with other people, you feel, and you can feel it in your body, how your body feels tough, stiff. Your mind is more active. Your mind is more calculating suddenly when it's not what you're usually doing in relationships, right? I noticed in my relationships that with some people I suddenly start counting how much I'm giving. Because when I was contemplating on this topic of relationships for the last 2 weeks, I realized in my relationships from my open heart. I was that, and I'm still am that person who gives freely, and I'm that person who gives freely, and I don't count, I don't have agenda of giving, because if I feel, I act upon, and that I experience people taking advantage of my open heart. People just coming, taking, and running away, or not even running away, but having, how to say, having, I would say, having courage. And I don't know even how to put it into the words, but they even stay to continue to take. Let's say like that. So what it taught me, what I realized when it comes to paying attention to how I'm feeling around certain people that I relate to, I realized that I was picking up the energy of other people and I internalized it as if it is mine. Suddenly, with one friend, how much I'm giving. And then it confuses me. And then I started blaming myself. Why? Why am I doing this? Why am I stingy with giving? When I know myself, I'm not like that. And I realized that I was picking up the energy of another person. My friend was how much she was giving because she was in fear of lack. So I was responding to the same energy with the same energy. And what helped me to see that was polar opposite experience. I have a few friends who are exactly the same as me. 100%, I would say. They are givers. They operate from the open heart. They don't count, they don't calculate. Even if they don't have much, they give because they feel love and they know in their soul that as long as as long as we operate from love, it's always enough. Hey, Quantum, I see you. So, the sixth lesson of relationships is pay attention how you feel around certain people, meaning connect to your physical body more. That's what happened to me. I realized that with some people I was more counting, more my mind was more active, while the heart was closing off, closing down, because I was too much active with my head. So it means I was picking up the energy of people that I was to, people who were counting how much they were giving, while I know myself being with open heart giving to additionally. And that was the reason why, that was the pattern and the reason why I got taken advantage so many times. So those lessons that I'm sharing now is coming from the last full moon review that I had for the last 2 weeks of self-reflection. And I saw my pattern. I saw what I need to change. And this is something that many people have the same. That's why I'm sharing my story. So probably you can relate to it, so you can also make certain conclusions about your patterns as well. So seventh lesson will be, for me, it's very important. Equal give and take. Without this, I just don't imagine healthy relationships. Whether it's family, friends, business, or romantic relationship. To all of those need to have sorry, I'm getting, as you probably see, I feel I need to stop. You know, when you have the flow of thoughts and then other thoughts just crossing, stopping the flow. I'm like, okay, I need to focus on what it is. That's how my intuition and my guidance is working. I just I forgot to say important thing at the beginning, but I will mention at the end. So pay attention to how you feel around each person. Then seventh lesson, equal give and take. It's very important to have that balance of equal give and take. Why? Because you can go so far with giving without receiving. Actually, go far with only giving and without receiving. So time will come when you will need to push brakes to giving and stop giving in order to give yourself. Because if I don't receive from my relationships, whether it's family, friends, business, or romantic, if I don't get back energetically, then it means I withdraw my energy from giving, and what I give to others, start to give to myself. That's what happens when people suddenly go ghost because they don't know how to, of course, express their needs and so on. But that's the reason why people focusing on themselves so much to the point of becoming a narcissist, not becoming to showing narcissistic behavior, just because this is the only way they know how to get back into themselves. Just because there was lack in reciprocity in their relationships. So when I say equal give and take, I don't mean that if I support somebody financially, that the same person must support me financially as well. No, every person gives energy back in the best way they are capable at that moment in time. For example, if I'm good in giving a shoulder to cry, ear to listen, uh, I'm giving my time, right, and my presence. Then maybe that friend who came to me to just for psychological emotional comfort, maybe that friend doesn't know how to provide that space for emotional psychological comfort, but maybe that friend is good with some technical. So maybe next time when I need some to resolve some technical issues, so I will go and ask that friend, hey, can you help me? I need some help. So I mean, it must be energetically exchanged. And when there is no exchange, what happens then? Narcissism. This is when a person only takes, and doesn't give, then that person operates in a very energy behavior. Because what narcissism is like a parasitic energy, because it operates on fear of lack, fear of I'm not enough, fear of, oh, they will see me, they will see my shadow, they will reject because they will see my shadow. It's like fear-based mentality. This is what that is, because when a person knows who they are and they feel good about who they are, they feel good about their light and about their shadow, then when a person feels good about all aspects of themselves, second, where did it disappear? I got so many distractions. What is happening? Ah, yes, 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 yes. When a person feels good about, first of all, know how they are, and they feel good about who they are, probably delete this video and I will record a new one, not live one, and then I will post it. Will be faster, will be easier. So yeah, that during this reflection process, I realized that I was operating on a very subconscious belief of mine that giving means love. And if I don't give, it means I'm not loving. And my belief, it's the same that if I give, it means my heart is open. If I don't give, it means my heart is closed. That's why I was so much into giving because I thought this is what love is. And I felt that I felt good and I always feel good by giving. But what I got to realize, I got my lesson that sometimes the biggest expression of love is to stop giving and even to leave a person in their hardest times in life because that's what they need to learn the lesson. Because if I am always present in somebody's life who is struggling continuously, they become dependent on my energy. They become dependent on my giving. They become dependent on the energy that they receive from how to say uh, yeah, materially, practically wise, by doing a favor, many favors, and so on. So this another huge lesson, eighth lesson, is giving is not necessarily love. Love is not only giving. Sometimes love is opposite, is stop giving. And sometimes the biggest expression of love is a rejection. Because in that way a person, because sometimes people need to experience the lack of our energy that is full of love, our energy that is light, that is supportive, that is giving. Sometimes people need to experience a lack of it in their life in order to start to wake up to the fact what they had and how they took advantage of it, how they had and how much they didn't appreciate it. Alan, I see your question. When will you put new room in Clubhouse? I was thinking about it. I'm not quite sure. Maybe I will do it tomorrow exactly on this topic. I don't know. We'll see. You will, if you're in the club, not in the club, in the house, you will get to know when the next room is. So let's go. The ninth lesson of relationships is ego and pride. Don't subscribe to somebody else's ego and pride. How I came to this lesson, first and foremost, is I realized how much I was misusing and abusing my own energy. And I did that by always being the first who apologize, always be who express how I'm feeling, always being the first to fix even in those cases when I didn't break it. I was always the first. Didn't leave neither time, neither space, neither opportunity for other people to participate in our relationship equally. And now I'm shifting this pattern, and I realize when injustice is done to me, when I feel that that situation holds injustice, I process it within myself. I use my voice, I vocalize, I write the letter, I speak that letter out loud without that person. I solve my emotions. And by doing so, I'm not calling to that person. I'm leaving them to be. Especially when I know that they are aware that they messed up. And I know that they live in guilt consciousness. And because of their pride and ego, that it's so hard for them to overstep, they are not reaching out. They are not giving energy back. They are not returning energy back. After the season of taking, so they realize what they did and they just don't bring energy back by coming back and saying, hey Lily, I'm sorry, I messed up. Hey Lily, I feel that something is off between us. Even if the person is not sure what's wrong, even then, the right So the 10th lesson is mirroring. Every single relationship mirrors us information about a certain aspect of ourselves. And I'm not joking. That's true, that's legit. So even if somebody does dirty to me, I turn inwards and I raise the question, what does that person tell me about me? And in such situations, what I found, the shadow always. Okay, no, didn't feel right. The word always. Oh, okay. Shadow, in some cases, it mirrors back my shadow. So when I was taken advantage of 2 weeks ago, it gave me a wake-up call to myself that, hey Lily, how are you treating relationships? I feel at a view and I realized, oh my God, I didn't see that friend, I didn't see that friend, I didn't appreciate what she did or he did. I never expressed it, how grateful I feel about having those people in my life. So you see, like, shadow of another person might mirror the information that we are doing the same in other relationships. Maybe not to that degree, but still. Or the shadow of another person might mirror back our light. Also, what happened with me, thanks to that situation that happened 2 weeks ago. I saw how much in that relationship I was operating from my open heart, how much I was giving unconditionally, and how fucking valuable my friendship is to other people. Much others are gaining from having me in their life. And my self-worth risen just because a friend showed her shadow to me. So her shadow illuminated, no, let's see, yeah, her shadow illuminated my light. It should be opposite, but yeah, you get what it is. And the last lesson, never stop giving. Never stop giving. Never stop giving. Never stop giving. Because past when in the past when I was operating from this pattern of always being there for people, always giving, always coming from open heart, those times when I was taken advantage of, when it really did hurt me, I stopped giving. I closed myself off and I just didn't give anymore. And that was when my life started falling down. The moment I stopped giving is the moment when I start suffering in life. So the lesson here, what I learned recently, relationships, the problem is not in the pattern of giving. The problem is in giving to the wrong people. Also, sometimes we need to give to the wrong people. How to say? It's not like wrong people. Sometimes, or we give them to the wrong people, or we don't know when to stop giving. What do I mean by that? Okay, example. A homeless person. It's okay to give sometimes to homeless people. I used to have my favorite like, she's not homeless, but she was struggling, so she was begging for money. I was giving her for quite a long period of time. Then it came to the point when I felt that it's enough of giving to that person. And it's because not to develop codependence on me, not to Yeah, not to develop dependency on me. So it's okay to give once, twice in order to help somebody. But if there is no reciprocity back, then we are just wasting our energy. So, okay, that's it, guys. I feel that I will do another video on this topic that will be more clear, more, I don't know, it just didn't feel right talking today. Something was off. Anyway, I hope you, Alan, understood something. Please write a message if you understood something. And also, what is your takeaway, maybe? If you understood something, then what stood out for you the most? Which biggest lesson about relationships did you do you take away? Oh my God, it's a video of 43 minutes. Okay, anyway, I see it's time to go, so see you, hear you around, and I'm finishing with this. How to finish now? Good question. How to okay, this